Shalom, shalom, Makim. Call halayim la YAHAWAH SHAMAIWAN BAHASHAM Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone and teaching them well. Peace and salutations be to all elect. I'm Brother Tazwan, coming at you from the Great Millstone Tampa camp down here in Tampa, Florida. Alright, this lesson is going to be going into respecting the order. Alright, mainly for brothers that have, a camp or brothers with them. They have came into the truth before them. They got more stripes on their belt, man. You gotta pay that respect. So let's grab this. Starting off with the elders, the head elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. Okay, so never forget to give that double honor. That's why when I opened up the lesson, one of the first things I said was double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, because they rule well, and it says they who labor in the word and doctrine. They teach. See, they're laboring in the word and the doctrine, teaching us to keep the doctrine and how the doctrine goes. Okay, teaching us the scriptures. And these are our spiritual fathers. I want to bring this out. Let's see a different version of this. Let's check what NLT says. NIV, 1 Timothy 5 and 17 says, the elders who direct the affairs of the church well are worthy of double honor, especially those whose work is preaching and teaching. Let's go. See? And the AMP says, the elders who perform their leadership duties well are to be considered worthy of double honor. It says, quote-unquote financial support, especially those, and don't forget to pay your tithes as well. You see, you also honor the elders by paying tithes. All right, or sending money and sending alms in. Okay, doing what you can, because they're taking care of you spiritually. The least you can do is take care of them financially. Help them out. You sending alms or tithes in may just help one of the elders be able to eat for a night, or for a week. Okay, it may help them replace or renew their signs. Okay. However they want to use that, it's going to be to their benefit. And this is the Lord. This is the Lord's way. If you're respecting the order, then this is the Lord's way of taking care of those elders for their hard work and labor. It says, especially those who work hard at preaching and teaching the word of YAHAWASHI concerning eternal salvation through HaMashiach, Yahawashi. Right? And that's exactly what they do. You got so-called elders in different camps. They don't do these things. They are directing you down the path of hell and destruction. Okay, but the elders of Great Millstone, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, teach the true doctrine, true leadership, true guidance on how to be a man in the Lord, and how to be a man. How to maintain your house, how to maintain your life, how to maintain yourself and your health. Okay. All of this advice coming down from the heads. All right, who do you think has supped with these men? Yahawashi himself. Okay, it's coming right on down from Yahawashi himself. Down to Elder Apostle Tahar, which his name goes into pure. Okay, who else's name you know in any of these other camps, which are really just false camps, has the name Tahar, which in the Hebrew is pure. The Hebrew word for pure, Salakia. Now let's grab this. In the book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch over your souls. So for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Okay? Just listen to these men. They got the experience. They're considered the elders and apostles for a reason. The elder apostles for a reason. Okay? They are chief in age in this truth, man. Alright? 35 plus years old in this truth. You know, we just babes compared to that. The elders and apostles were doing the work before I was even born. You know? So you make sure you give these men their due respect. Right? Verse 7. Hebrews 13 and verse 7. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of YAHAWASHI, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. That's why you may be in one of these camps, GMS. If you're in one of these camps, GMS, they may have a tithing account that you can send money to. Okay, and it trickles on down to the order. You can send money to that, and what they do, they end up sending it to the elders. Okay, sending that money to the elders, and this is how we pay our due respects and give our double honors. All right, not only through tithes but also through obedience. Okay, with a good attitude, respect. All right, and listening to their advice. Okay. What Elder Pastor Hart said, your hair shouldn't be no longer than mine, and that due respect is when men went and cut their hair. You know. Let's check this. Try this one. Try to get this full chapter open. Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear unto my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. Okay, so we need to bow our ears and attend unto the wisdom of the elders and apostles, man. Okay, so that we may regard discretion. Right? Dropping down to verse 9, it says, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. You see? You're going to be, in the end of your life, you're going to be, oh man, I should listen to the elders, man. I knew I should have listened. You got niggas bugging out because they want to go their own way. Scripture say a sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. You niggas, a lot of men fell out behind getting their hair cut. A lot of men didn't want to get rid of their dreads, the fucking braids, ponytails, whatever. You know? And a lot of men fell out behind that. Because you were weak-minded. You let your hair get between you and YAHAWASHI. Scripture say nothing can separate us from the love of the Lord. Not angels, nor demons, nor hell, no tribulation, okay, no affliction, nor persecution. Nothing can separate us from the love of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. But you let your hair separate you from the love of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. You let your hair separate you from serving and respecting YAHAWASHI after he gave his life for you. You can't even give your hair up for him. Nigga can't even cut his hair. Oh man, this my power, this my pride. I spent my whole life growing these. You think I gotta cut them? Nah, y'all bugging. No, nigga, you bugging. And very soon you're gonna find out. You couldn't give up the shit that's gonna turn gray and fall off anyways. You're gonna find out the recompense for that. You know, many men fell out over the smoking demon. They can't stop smoking. Men fell out trying to commit adultery with brothers' wives. You niggas are sick. Let's see. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1 Timothy 4 and 14 in the NLT. Do not neglect the spiritual gift you received through the prophecy spoken over you when the elders of the church laid their hands on you. You know, and the elders spiritually laying their hands on us when we listen to their lessons and take heed. We receive what? The gift of knowledge, the gift of understanding and wisdom. Okay? Don't neglect that wisdom, because now you gotta spread it. Now you gotta share it. You gotta teach it. Study therein, and then you can teach others. And this is how you remain charitable. Give your complete attention to these matters. Throw yourself into your tasks so that everyone will see your progress. Keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. Stay true to what is right for the sake of your own salvation and the salvation of those who hear you. See, so this is very important, man. Okay? That's just very important. Never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully as you would to your own father. Talk to younger men as you would to your own brothers. Scriptures tell you how to be respectful. All right? And our elders are older men, not only physically, but in this truth as well. Never disrespect them. Never come out of their mouth slick. None of that shit, man. You know? Because it's going to turn to you for a reproach. You know? The Lord sees everything. And what's important is how you respond and react to things. You know? The Lord going to put stuff when you're walking in your path to see what you do with it. To see how you treat it. You know? And that's going to play an important role and a major part in your judgment. Whether your reward is good or evil. That's going to play a major part. So just take heed and respect the elders, man. Respect the order. You know, the brothers over you in the camp. Respect those men. As we just said, we just brought out, do not speak harshly to an older man. And that's not only physically, but also in the spirit. These men are older than you in the spirit. You know, never speak harshly. And to the brothers younger than you, you have men under you, whatever, that look up to you, talk to them as brothers. Don't talk to them as a nigga on the street. Respect goes very far away in this truth. You know, and how you speak. The scriptures say the tongue is a little member, but can kindle a great fire. You know, kind of like the steering wheel on a boat. You see, boat huge, the steering wheel very small, but that steering wheel determines the success and safety of that boat. It's the same thing with your mouth. Your mouth can invite strokes, can invite you to get your ass beat, or it can get you into a kingdom. You know, as the scriptures say, if a man seemeth to be religious, yet bridleth not his tongue, his religion is vain. So it's important that you have good respect for the elders, good respect for the brethren, okay, respecting the order, okay, going through the order, not just skipping all the way up to the head and, hey, let me talk to you about something real. Nah, man, there's an order to this thing. The head of the camp already got stuff he got to deal with. That's why there's brothers between you and him. You know, go throughout the order. Maybe the brother that's right on top of you can answer your questions for you. You know, but for you to just skip straight up to the head, to the top, and be considered prideful. You know, so these are just things that, you know, I have learned along my walk through experience. The scripture said, "Experience teacheth." You know, so ain't nobody perfect. I'm not perfect. You know, I fell off a few times. You know, as according to respecting the order. You know, I fell a few times. I got back up and did a lot better. You know, make sure things like that don't ever occur again. This is how you get to a kingdom, man. But until next time, Shalom.